The purpose of this video is to show you how you can, on your own, turn a tree in a garden or you bought in a nursery into a bonsai. Hi, miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom. So today I would address the frequent asked question, how do I start a bonsai plant from a tree that grew in the ground or bought in a nursery? Typically they're straight up. So what I've done is I took two out of my growing grounds. One is a elm, one is a Japanese maple, to show you how that is done. What I did is that I cut this tree, I would say it about 3 months ago in the springtime. A stick coming up, I cut it. And the same thing with this, a stick, I cut it and let it grow. And you can see in 3 months, it grew quite full to give me opportunity for reshaping it. So with that then, let me pull that out of the pot to work on the tree as the second step in the turning a raw tree into a bonsai. So the purpose of this video is to show you how you can, on your own, turn a tree in a garden or you bought in a nursery into a bonsai. What you got is a stick. What you bought is a stick, but you can give yourself just a simple process to make it into a bonsai. You can see this tree was a stick coming up. I might have cut it out before, and then this one grew up. So this is a straight up part. I cut it off here, and you can see all the side branches coming out for me to have opportunity to reshape it. So the next step then is to take it out of the pot and try to work it. And I usually like to begin by work the root to show the bottom. You can see how much has grown. Look at all the roots since I did it. So I pull this off to expose the root. You can see this is going to be quite a nice tree. It started off as a tree that grew up on top and then a side branch, and that got too big, so I tore it off. And you can see this becomes a very nice feature of this tree as it heals to show it's kind of had a rough beginning. But now I pull off all the top, so you can see the roots are coming out like that. That will become a very nice part of the bonsai. So anyway, now I work on the top. So for example, take this tree, I cut that off, and this tree is now, I have the two possibilities. I can take this tree and plant it this way, or for that matter, any other way to expose the roots. And then I have a curve, and the tree comes up like that. So I have a tree that comes up like that, and I can do whatever I want afterwards by cutting this off. So now I have a tree with a curve. You see that? That's a nice curve. And I take one of these branches and shape it to be the next level. So for example, I can turn this off, cut this one off, and then this will become the top. See, so this tree comes up like this, and then a turn, a turn, a turn. So the other possibility is that I can just let that grow, become a side branch, and then the tree like that, bottom one grows out like that, and then this one comes up. And I think I rather do the more conventional trees like what we see in America. And so that's what I would try to do, make it into the conventional upright style. In fact, I would do both of them upright style because that's more realistic, really, in most cases. Okay, with that in mind then, I also now, with my design idea in mind, I will now work the tree. Now, this is the thick trunk coming up, and then this is a side trunk. I will make it the apex. That's pretty thin. So I'll let this grow wild to thicken this branch. And in the meantime, this will look much more natural, blend into the thick one, because this is going to come up like this and then go up. So now I will try to cut off the bottom branch to get the next level. So this top snub will die off, eventually dry out, become quite easy to cut afterwards. So I'm just gonna make a little bit of a taper. So you can see this tree will taper and then let this grow. I just let this grow a while to thicken it. And I would try to create a branch here. So now you have a tree coming up and this grow, and this will become much more disappearing to blending to the bottom. And then you have a branch coming out at the bottom here, and then a branch coming out on the side here. So I would like this one to be more that direction. And then this one, I don't need to fill in this hole, but I need to fill out this hole. So keep this one. And then this one can be like that. And then this one, if you clip up here, I probably like this branch to come out this way, so hopefully it will do that. This branch should come out this way, that one go that way. And now this is a pretty important branch because that's a bottom thick branch coming out. You don't want these branches to grow in that direction. This one's coming out this way, so that's good. So this branch is pretty critical in some sense. This comes up, there's a thick branch coming out, and then it grows up. And so you want this tree to kind of like, I would say this is not too bad. I would let it grow out this way. If I clip it here, there will be plenty size shoots for me to choose which branch to keep. So again, this looks really bare now, but this will branch out for me to pick the right branch. And this one, I would kind of push it down a little bit or wire it. And I don't need a branch over here more. I need a branch out this way more. So you can see this will be a magnificent tree with a big hole that's gradually healed over. Just a big branch broke off and it heals over. And then this branch takes over to fill this space. This fills this space. This fills this space. And then so on and so forth. So you can see this could be quite a presentable tree when it gets in a couple more years. This will be the early stage of development of a tree we'll be selling you with a reasonable trunk, roughly shaped. And then you can just develop your own vision of what you want the tree to be and let it grow. And you can see eventually this will become almost a heritage tree in your city center that you can imagine, and as you're doing by starting with our tree to make it into an heirloom of your own. So this is my elm. That will be very representative of several months from now. I'll be shipping out a tree and you'll be happy to get it. We shall see. So now let me put it back in the pot. I like the roots to be exposed, so I will put some soil in. So when I put in the pot, you can see I'm exposing the roots because I want that to pay attention to how that develops into a beautiful part of your tree. And then I will put more dirt in it to fill up the space. And I would put water in it to help me firm out the soil a little bit better so the roots are in good contact with the soil to get the moisture it needs. So that's the tree. And in 2 years, when I put it in a bonsai pot, you will really love it. And this will be very close to the trunk size of this, so that the whole tree will look like a very natural, straight upright. That's actually pretty formal in its design. Let me move on to the next one. Now let me do the same with this Japanese maple tree, which I also chopped down. As you can see, I chopped it here about 3 months ago, and you see how they grow wild. See, that's where I chopped it. And it grew wild. This one's over here. This is gonna be the apex. So let me again take this tree out of the pot. I tell you a funny story about this little growth. You see, in Amazon, they were selling this supposed to be a really good variety of a fig tree from Italy. And it sounded so good, I bought it. It turns out it was just tiny little clump of growth out of a test tube or flask. Apparently, it's a Mary clone, or a clone of the original tree. And because of the cloning process, I just keep on getting babies everywhere. I use it for when I plant this tree, a little bit of piece fall into this pot and it grew. And if I planted this, I tell you, the figs is white fig this big. And I will not throw this away. I will go plant it. And someday a friend wants a fig tree, he will have a nice one. So anyway, here is my maple tree. I would say this is a 3-year-old seedling. I bought it about 1.5 years ago, and it's 3 years now. And it doesn't look like much, but I'll turn it into a nice straight up bonsai again. To start with, I get rid of the roots to soil on top to expose the roots where the bonsai would begin. Because unless that is done early in the development, you always see these beautiful, beautiful trees that people spend, decades working on a good bonsai, and the roots are all messed up. It's really a terrible waste of time. So I always begin by working on the roots first, making sure it's not all curled up, and if it's curled up, it's easy to just clip it, and so it doesn't curl up. First of all, you can see the trunk is about this size. But if you open it up, you can see how wide the bottom is. So you do want to expose the root and take advantage to show, to improve the age of the appearance of the age of the tree. Now, like these two roots are a little bit problematic. You can see this root is radiated out very nicely. This is radiated out very nicely. This going down is okay. And this is crossover, So there's plenty of roots. So I will cut off. I'll cut off this one. It's in the wrong direction, so that it won't grow up to be a dominant one and block the view. Like this one, you have this one coming out this way, and it's at the wrong angle. It's going that way, but if I cut it here, it will shoot out this way. And like this one, this looks okay, but this looks wrong, so I cut off all of these. So this is a good angle, so I cut off these little guys. And so then the tree will be more or less like this. I can move this root over a bit. You see, like this angle, that's much better, and I'll try to patch it up later. So with the roots in reasonable shape, you can see, at least from this angle, it'll be just really beautiful roots. Look at that. You know, spread out like that. And like this one, it's unfortunate. It's kind of like going down or going that way, which is kind of okay. But what I would do is I'll cut off the bottom to encourage to grow on the side to make it a little more radially out. Now the next is I will work on the apex, and you can see where I cut off. It shoots out, you know, directions. Actually, funny thing, this one is going the wrong angle. Here, you can see this tree is coming up, and it's growing like this, and this may become the apex, which is fine. And then I let these to be on the side. And then so that become, you can see, well, this will come out here. This will become, this tree is coming up, and it did a little turn, but that will thicken to make it less of an apparent turn. And then this branch will shoot up here to make it the apex, or this one will. So then you have a nice straight up tree. And these will be the side branches. And in fact, why don't I encourage more side branches? And then now I work the next level down. And to do that, I see I have a branch here, so I need this less on this side. I need more on that side, so I will cut off some of these that's directly above the bottom branch. You cut off some of the branches to make it uncluttered, so eventually when it thickens, it will show more of the characteristic of the trunk, rather than just a big lump of green leaves. Very nice, but not very artistic. So that's it. I now have I think we'll have a decent upright Japanese maple about this tall in a pot. When it thickens to this size with a lot of leaves, it will be a nice bonsai. So look at this. in this video, I did two trees. One is an elm, Chinese lace bark elm, and then this is a Japanese maple into two upright trees. These will actually be pretty representative of the trees we will start to show to ship in November, although they will have a lot more ramification and a thicker trunk. So the whole idea is that you get a tree that's got a good start in a bonsai pot that's designed to keep the trees alive, longevity, and you can turn the tree gradually over time, let it grow to become your heirloom bonsai. And so we'll start to offer these trees for sale in October timeframe. And now it's beginning to have the look of a potentially reasonable bonsai. And that's how they all began their life, from a humble tree into a magnificent tree. And we have the scheme, the soil mixture, and the design, the implementation to give it longevity, easy to maintain, especially you follow our instruction. And this is the elm. You can see this I tore off. Again, I don't like to handle it with kid glove in turning trees into bonsai. I like to be rough so that when it heals, it becomes more of a natural-looking tree in a wild wilderness. So this is going to be a very good elm because it's got the thick trunk and a characteristic breakage, and then all the trunks and the branching in the right places. We shall see. But that's how you begin with a vision in mind and you work towards it. And I hope you will carry on your journey of a bonsai with this tree to make it into your heirloom someday. So I thank you very much for watching. Click like to give me some encouragement if you truly feel like it's informative. And subscribe to our channel so we can notify you of any announcement of program. Get yourself on the mailing list so we notify you, you get your tree. I'd like you to have it. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you next week.